Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight, season 16, episode, I think 6. Child, y'all don't quote me on that, okay? If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. And listen, we will have a live tomorrow night, or by the time you're listening to this review, it will be tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Child, be there or be square. Child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Day 6 of marriage. So we see Snooki and Vinny and another one of his leisure short sets for bed, child. Kirsten and Shaq eating breakfast. Gina and Clint are at a gift shop. Dominique and Mckinley. So they're just waking up and they're talking about snoring yet again. Okay, these two are like Groundhog's Day, honey. Is that all y'all do every day y'all wake up? Start talking about which one of y'all snored? That's all y'all talk about. So she says she wants to go horseback riding on the beach and he is down for it. So in her little interview, she said on a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 6.5. Child, but we see you open mouth kissing Clint in them previews and don't think we forgot. She said as far as romantically, he's like a 3 or 4 because the joking is a little bit too much. Now listen, I have to agree with her because it was getting on my nerves last review. Remember I told y'all last episode, Mackinley was getting on my nervous system. Okay. Now I love a good kiki. Y'all know I'm a honey, y'all know I'm a laugh if I don't do nothing else. But I don't want to play 24 hours a day. And you would think with her being the younger one, she would joke more than Mackinley. But what I think it is I think it's nerves. I really do. I do feel like that's a part of his personality, but I also think it's nerves. Child, get your central nervous system together, honey. Moving forward. So Dominique gets up to call her mama, honey, because she has to call mommy and fill her in. So, hey, mama. Hey, girl, how's it going? She was like, well, it's going well, but, I have some apprehension because he doesn't like doing new things. Like he makes a joke about it, but then he does it. So I don't know what it is, but he's saying he's doing it for me. I'm just confused. So her mama said, well, maybe you can push him out of his comfort zone. But Dominique is like, he just want to sit on the beach, honey. I don't want to be a beach bum in Jamaica. I didn't come all the way to Jamaica to sit on the beach. And I have to say this. Now, Dominique, have you tried maybe compromising? Because to be fair, y'all, now hear me out. To be fair, she has done nothing that he wants to do. Every single excursion has been outside of his comfort zone. And although it is, at least he's doing it. Okay. So I just feel like you don't have to jam pack every single day of a vacation with an activity. Sometimes y'all can be beach bums. Just sit on the beach and get to know each other. How you gonna get to know them if you're scuba diving, jumping off planes, jumping off of buildings? Girl, I just feel like she could compromise, honey. She kind of getting on my nerves a little bit as well. Moving forward. Gina and Clint. Baby, these two right here is a fool. So they're having breakfast in the pool. And she said the only obstacle is the physical, but it seems like they're getting closer. Girl, the two of you couldn't be further apart. And why do y'all keep talking about your physical attraction? Why? So she asked him what he's looking forward to when they get back to Nashville. And he said, sailing and looking forward to taking her on his boat and helping her to just let go of work a little bit and just live. And she's like, oh, so you're going to help me not to work so much? Well, I need to, people to onboard. I just signed a lease for my salon and I just signed a commercial lease and blah, 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 blah. Y'all know what? I'm going to start calling Gina Rihanna. Work, 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 work. All she does is work, 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 work. Girl, we don't want to hear no more. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Gina's entire identity is that dang on salon. I don't know anything about Gina except that she has a salon. Y'all tell me y'all know something about Gina down in the comment section. And don't you hop on the Googler, don't you hop on the Reddit, and don't you hop on the Twitter. What have you learned from Gina while watching this season? Say what now? Oh, okay. I ain't think so. Jasmine and Arris. So she's still concerned about him never being in love. They're getting a couples massage, right? So they laying face down. So she was saying to him that, she doesn't take care of herself when she's back home. So this is very much needed. So he was like, well, if there's anything that I can do to lessen the load, then just let me know. And I know it has to be hard for her to take out time, especially with her mom going through chemo. She's probably always worried about that. Then she has 50 of them dogs. She got a whole kennel. She's a cheer coach. It's just so much going on, honey. Then she married to this fool. So that's just a lot. So he did say that he would help, but I don't buy nothing that Arris is talking about. So she was like, well, what you could really do to help me is don't drop no more bombs on me. How about you don't do that? So he feels like him not being in love is not a bomb. Oh, it's giving bomb. So they stop massaging, right? So she gets up to give him a massage. Jasmine, sit down. Sit down. Why are you touching his funky feet and his ashy ankles? Why? Huh? Why are you doing that? They already massaged him. There's no reason for you to come in with the assist. Have a seat. Girl, Jasmine is giving Paige. Honey, she's giving very much Paige. Now, I don't remember Paige rubbing on nothing that Chris had to offer, besides when they got in that bed and got to rolling around. But she's giving me very much, I have to prove to him that I am worthy of his love. I have to have him fall in love with me to get a yes on decision day. Jasmine, stop it right now. Just have a seat. He's like, oh, I can get used to this. I'm sure you can. You're spoiled. So she brings up, this is the most that they've touched each other. I ain't seen him do nothing for you yet. So I don't know about touching each other, but you have been touching him and accommodating him since you got here. You're feeding him grapes. He got his shoes on in the tub. He ate your whole entire lobster tail. You can't eat your bacon like you want to. He keeps saying something about that every 5 seconds. Now you're sitting up here massaging him after he's already been massaged. So I don't know about the most we've touched each other, but he been touched. You haven't. So he agrees. And he said that I just feel like it's not the normal thing. I feel like what we are doing as far as not touching each other is normal progression after meeting a stranger. I just feel like that's what you're supposed to do. She said, I feel like you're being sarcastic. He said, no, I'm not. So in the confessional, she was like, well, he was just talking about sex with me and now he's not interested. Well, Jasmine, you said you were more modest and he's not seeing the whore in you. So maybe that's why. But then again, it is him. So maybe he isn't interested. So all the grape feeding and massaging in the world ain't gonna change it. He just wanted sex. And when you didn't bite, all of a sudden, it's the natural progression. Child, anyway, Nicole and Chris, a.k.a. Snooks and Van. How many of these little outfits Chris on? Baby, he got a little short set for every occasion, don't he? So they're cuddling on the hammock and she brings up them actually cuddling. And he said, he wants to take it slow so things don't get cloudy, but he doesn't want her to not feel like she's wanted because he does want her. He said he was in a relationship for 1.5 years and they had sex 3 times. In total? Oh my gosh, Chris, honey, you stayed 375 days too long. And I'm giving her a little extra, okay? Because I'm thinking, the 3 days were spread out. 375 days too long. He said then he had another relationship where sex used to be used as a Band-Aid. So she said her and her ex, they had great sex, but she felt like when she would do whatever with anybody else that she felt like a stand-in, like basically insert Nicole here. They could really do it with anybody. So she wants him to vocalize that it was actually good and it was actually good with her. And he couldn't get it from just anybody. Okay, I hear y'all, child. But these two gonna trauma bond if they don't do nothing else. And it seems like they keep talking about their past, honey. Let it go. Enjoy the moment and each other. I'm so sick of hearing about these exes. Child, I want to hear about that ex not now, another time. In the next scene, the group gets together and they all sit down and, just get to know each other. Hey, y'all, oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. So they're sitting down and Shaquille tells them that they had to go to Jackson first before they came there. And in this scene, I felt like Kirsten was being fake. I felt like she was putting on the Ritz. Here she go talking about, I said, you know what? I'm a little mad, but education is important and we're here. And girl, you was having a full-on fit sitting up in that hotel room, child, giving us diaries and everything else. Anywho, so then Dominique asked about if anybody has had an argument. And everybody's like, no, we're good. So then Dominique brings up Mackinley always joking and her not knowing if it's real or if he playing or what's going on. And he says something about him being awkward or some child. I don't know what he was talking about. So Nicole brings up how Chris makes her feel emotionally connected and he brings a calm to her. And she also said that she had a strict schedule, wanted to have the sexuals on the second night of the honeymoon, but they're choosing to have an emotional connection instead. So Arris is like, well, we're moving, kind of slow, but she thinks me never being in love is a red flag, but I feel like she could be my first love. And try, please. She better not hold her breath. You give red flag for many different reasons. It ain't even got nothing to do with the fact that you've never been in love. Let's just put that aside. You are giving 6 flags over Texas. Okay? That's what you're giving. So Clint is like, well, have you blown her back out yet? Clint, why would you ask him that about his wife? That is so gross. Boy, say what now? Ugh. Oh my God. So then Arris tells the group, I feel like we're just taking it slow because I am a very sexual person, but it hasn't worked for me in the past, so I'm taking a different approach. Child, I call BS. You just don't like Jasmine because she didn't turn out to be the freak-a-leak that you wanted. You are so easy to read, honey, and you ain't fooling me. That's the only reason why you're not filling her up. So then Kirsten brought up Shaq and how she felt like, at first she didn't like his bald head, but he has every other quality, so it's cool. So Gina was like, yeah, I've had a relationship where physical attraction grew, and it was actually one of my best relationships. The biggest obstacle that me and Clint have is the physical attraction. Oh, child, don't know. Listen, ain't nobody in this group attracted to their spouse. Shaq is attracted to Kirsten. She ain't attracted to him. Dom can't stand Mackinley. He is a jokey joke, and he could really get over there with Gina. Gina can't stand Clint. Clint can't stand Gina. He was stomaching her until she came out of her mouth and said something about him. Now he don't want to be bothered. Arris don't want nothing to do with Jasmine and her 45 crowns. And Miss America wants Arris, but he don't want her. Child, they getting on my nerves, honey. They are really getting on my nerves. So then Clint is like, well, the physical attraction thing, the girls that I've dated are very athletic. They're very slender. And that's the type that I'm attracted to. So Dom was like, wait a minute, dude, you need to read the room. It's full of curvy women. So why would you even say that? Now, Dominique, I'm with you, girl. Why would you even say that, honey? You do need to read the room because some things you just don't say out loud, but you need to calm down because he seemed to like your curvy kisses a little bit later on in the season. Clint is butthurt because Gina is treating him like a redheaded stepchild. If she didn't say that, then her frame would be just fine. He is being petty. Okay, he's being petty because he's hurt by the things that Gina said to him. So they all get up to go horseback riding, right? And nobody is feeling Clint at the moment at all, especially Gina. And I feel like that was a very low blow as far as Clint is concerned. But Gina, you threw the first punch. It's just a shame because the rest of the ladies were collateral damage. Like he should have known that he shouldn't have said that in front of all the other ladies. He should have said that to her when she expressed what she felt about him. That was the moment to say it. So now y'all going tit for tat and everybody's in the crossfires. And of course, if the women hear this without context, they're going to be like, dude, who do you think you talking to? What's wrong with being curvy? Okay. And side note, down in the comments last week, somebody said that there were people, I don't know if it was on Patreon or if it was in my comment section. Somebody said that people were saying something about Gina's physique when she took off her cover up. And I'm like, have y'all never seen a natural body? Because I thought she was banging. So I don't really understand what the problem is. But here we are today. Moving forward. So child, they get out there, they horseback riding in the water and whatnot. It seemed really cool. Everybody was cool with it. But Mackinley, honey, he complained the entire time. Especially when Mr. Ed went number 2 all over his feet and whatnot. And baby, when that horse pooped all over the place, Mackinley was like, listen, I got to go, honey. Take me up out this water. Jasmine and Arris. So it's later that night, right? And so they're talking and Arris was like, you know what? Low key, Gina and Clint called each other ugly, but like in a nice way. Like they a little bit too mature for me. Like shout out to them because I cannot just tell somebody that I just don't find them attractive. Oh, we know. We know. He was like, I couldn't do it. So then he brings up Chris and Nicole. He was like, yeah, no girl. She was saying how she wanted to have sex the second night, but now she taking it slow. It feel like to me, she don't like that man. And how did you get that? Everybody doesn't think about only sex like you do. How did you get that from what she said? So then Jasmine hit him with well, people could say the same thing about you. He gonna say, Well, I mean, you can never prepare for this, and then it's like, bam, a stranger's right in your face. I think, a back will get blown out when the back is supposed to get blown out in due time. Arris, you are so obvious. Okay. You wanted it on your time. And when you felt rejected by her not taking a hold of your sexual innuendos, now you're going to make her work for your semi-affection, which really ain't nothing but bedding her down just to say you slept with her. Because regardless of the fact of you liking her physique or if she's your type, you will still lay down with her because that's the type of dude that you are. And that's what that cousin was trying to warn us about. Now, I still don't trust her either. But the bottom line is, please stop acting like, oh, well, we'll get there. Let's just take things slow. Anywho, he's like, right now, I'm just getting friendship vibes from her. That's what he said in the confessional. That's because you're used to meeting someone and immediately blowing their back out. I mean, those are your words, honey, because I'm sure their back left intact, if y'all know what I mean. Gina and Clint. So Clint is oblivious to the fact that he did anything wrong, honey. He don't even realize that Gina is upset. Gina, just tell him how you feel. And Clint, how can you not see that she's upset? Like, both of y'all are getting on my nerves. So he's like, yeah, so everybody seems like they're in a good place. Say what now? Clint, nobody is in a good place, especially your relationship. He's like, we have a little hill to climb. It's a fool. So in her confessional, she's like, I mean, what he said was so offensive that I don't even have words. Well, child, you better say something because he acting like he don't know what's going on. Dominique and Mckinley. So he's like, I'm a 4 according to my wife because they're doing like a little mini cam. He's like, I know I'm a complainer. Obviously, I'm a 4. I'm very introverted. She's like, don't make excuses. You just need to do better. So he starts cracking his unfunny jokes. And she is like, I'm over it. Okay, I'm done. You always do this. I'm not doing the cam. Just leave me alone. Child, she gonna call her mama as soon as we go to commercial. Do you hear me? I told y'all Mackinley annoyed me. Didn't I tell y'all that? Oh, child. Moving forward. Shaquille and Kirsten. So they're going to learn these dances, right? And child, they were getting it too. They was hitting them 1-2 steps. So they learned this little dance and whatnot. And they're having fun with it. And I love how Shaq was a good sport and he was having fun with her because, most men ain't down for the dancing, honey. And you know how they get, especially on Married at First Sight, when they go salsa dancing. Every single season, it's a disaster. Honey, y'all remember how Vincent was acting with Brianna when he didn't want to do that and his shirt was too tight? Oh, child, he was pissed. He was pissed in that 2 little shirt. Shout out to Brianna and Carvana, honey. They still together, honey. Got them a beautiful little baby, honey. They proved me wrong. I know that's right. So Kirsten said that the connection to him is growing, especially because they love to express themselves through dance. Even though I think she lying, I really want them to work out because they look so nice together and could actually compliment each other if Kirsten would stop playing. Okay, she get on my nerves a little bit. Chris and Nicole. So they're going kayaking and he splashes her with water, right? Baby, she quickly was like, that's a pet peeve of mine. Okay, I'm just putting my my feet in the water and then people are splashing me with water. I don't like that. He said, okay, well, what else are your pet peeves? She said, I call them SMP, slow moving people walking in front of me. Listen to me, Nicole. This is why my people used to always tell me I should have lived in New York because my personality is similar to theirs. Yes, I have a lot of the Southern charm and the Southern belle in me, but I also am very straightforward. I do not like to do a whole bunch of honey, I'm straight to the point and I can't stand slow walking people. When I say I can't stand it, like get the lead out, honey, move it or lose it. Why are you walking in front of me on the slow? So I creep. Honey, if you don't go. So he said, he doesn't like dishes in the sink. But y'all listen to this. He said he only washes clothes once a month. And he doesn't wash his sheets for weeks. Okay, well, that's why you only had sex 3 times, Chris. So you got to tell the whole story, honey. Ain't nobody finna lay down in there when it's so functified. Child, please. You wash your sheets once a month? Look, I'm not trying to judge you, honey. I'm sorry, but that's nasty. Okay, that is nasty. Dogs or no dogs. Once a month? Once a week is the minimum. You might need to change them every 3 days Depending on how much them dogs shed. And they be slobbering and they be, ugh. Oh, no, ma'am, honey. Oh, child. Ew. But y'all know what? I can see the once a month thing when it comes to Chris. Because he been wearing that same short set from the bed to the beach. So I believe it. She gonna need a hazmat suit to go in that house, honey. Y'all remember when Lindsay put that hazmat suit on when Mark the shark had them bed bugs? Nicole, you better get your suit, honey. Pineapples. Oh, child. Nicole gonna be screaming pineapples when she gotta go in that funkified apartment, honey. Oh, that's nasty. So he's afraid that she's gonna think he's lazy. Child, lazy is not the word for it. So she was like, no, I mean, if you didn't work and you were just sitting around and not even washing your sheets, then yeah. But I mean, if you work, then you deserve a break. Now, I have to say this. These two have great conversations to get to really know each other. This should be the blueprint because they really, really talk to each other a lot. I just hope that Nicole is being honest with her answers. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But I get the feeling that she's holding back and she's going to bring it up later. I really do get the feeling. In the next scene, all the ladies go to have a little girl time. Clint and the husbands also got together for a little guy time. Over with the men, Clint asks how things are going. And Chris said, it's going good, but she holds hands a little bit too much, like more than I'd like to, especially it's hot and she just holding hands. He's like, well, I like touch. It's fine. Chris is a people pleaser. He gonna be trying to please her. She gonna be annoyed. It might be a fool. So Clint is trying to offer advice. Yeah, Nicole's gonna steamroll you. She's gonna stomp on you. Clint, you worry about why Gina wants to make you an appointment at her salon to dye your hair. Stop worrying about what's going on over here and watch how you talk. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, oh, child. Moving forward. So Chris was like, I would have said it a little bit differently, but, it's just Clint being Clint. I feel like he wants to be the center of attention, so we just let Clint be Clint. Child, I guess. Over with the women, Dominique is telling the ladies that Mackinley complains too much. So Kirsten said, yeah, that would definitely be a turnoff for me. Child, it would drive me all the way to hell up. Do y'all hear me? I don't want to hear it. I do not like a complainer. I don't want to hear it. But Kirsten, you don't like nothing, especially nothing about Shaq. So there's that. Back over with the men, Mackinley said, he does feel like he complains and he makes jokes a lot. He said he thinks he's just being stupid. He thinks being funny is how to cope with it. But here come Clint once again trying to pipe up. Clint, hush. Okay, just zip it. Back with the ladies, Kirsten is like, yeah, Shaq does that sometimes, but I have to stop him. Like, you have to stop men in their tracks. All that playing, I just stop him. Back over with the men, Shaquille is like telling the men that Kirsten thinks he acts like Martin Luther King and he always gives speeches. Well, I'm sorry, I have to agree with that because when you speak to her, you do seem like you are talking to one of your mentees. It's giving 7 years ago. I mean, that ain't Martin, but I'm just saying. It's giving a speech, honey. It's giving, I have a dream, honey. It's giving a speech. So I have to agree with her on that. Back over with the women, Jasmine kind of quiet. So they like, girl, what's going on with you? So they asked Jasmine what's going on with her and Arris. And Jasmine was like, well, he said I'm fine. He said I'm attractive, but he's not ready to rip my clothes off or jump my bones. So I'm hoping that the sexual chemistry will grow. So then she tells them about him never being in love at 39. Meanwhile, Arris is over there, child, really feeling himself. You got a big ego. Shout out to Beyonce. And speaking of Beyonce, y'all got y'all Renaissance tickets. But anywho, that's just a side note, child. Don't y'all answer. I got to get back into this. Meanwhile, Arris is over there like, oh, I mean, as far as physical attraction to me, she can't get enough of me. She like on a scale of 1 to 10, she like at a 12 when it come to me. But I'm at like a 4 or 5. And I kind of feel guilty. No, you don't. He's like, I mean, she's not my kind of girl. She's not the kind of girl I would usually go for. Well, you can go for whoever you want. Okay, who you can get is another question. He's like, I like women with perfect butts like Serena, Meg the Stallion. She's just a little, on the slender side. I mean, she won beauty pageants, so I know she's very good looking. Arris is basically describing Kirsten. Shaquille, while you over here skinning and grinning, you better keep your good eye on Arris. Arris, you got your nerve, old flathead mama's boy, talking about this woman is a 4 or a 5. Child, this is a fool. Moving forward. Back with the women, Nicole asks Gina how she's feeling after Clint's gross comments. And she's like, yeah, I'm so glad you guys noticed. Gina, I'm speaking directly to you, honey. Don't you dare play victim. You told him your preference and he said his. The bad part is it was in front of everybody else. Both of y'all are wrong. You're not attracted to him. He's not attracted to you. And neither one of you know how to properly verbalize it. Like, both of y'all are wrong. So all the ladies were pissed at Clint for his comments. So Gina is like, and just so we're clear, my waist is a 26 and I work out a lot. I mean, you look beautiful. I wouldn't even worry about what he's talking about over here. You look absolutely beautiful. It's just that both of you are playing tit for tat. Y'all playing petty little games. Y'all playing two can play that game, child. It's a fool. So she said, she doesn't want to say anything to him right now. She's trying to let it just die down. But she's like, I'm in the business of empowering women. I own a hair salon. We know, Gina. We know. So Nicole asks if they're going to work on it because she doesn't want her to just throw it away just because they had this huge disagreement. And she's like, yeah, we're going to talk about it. But hopefully the guys will be able to talk some sense into him. Back over with Clint. He's like, well, we all shared with everybody how we were feeling. So Mackinley goes, well, you said you didn't like anyone that was thicker. He said, no, I didn't say thicker. I said I prefer women that are more slender. He said, I'm very conscious of people's feelings. And, Gina is a great person. But for me, it's all about the hair salon with her. Like, are you promoting the hair salon? Like, I came here to find love and get married. And it just seems like she just only talks about the hair salon. Sorry, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I agree with that. That is all that Gina talks about every time she's in a scene. So he said last night she didn't even want to talk to him. I mean, can you blame her? So Mackinley said, Gina's sexy. Clint, you crazy. Oh, okay. So we might as well switch now. Here we go. Dominique, go home and be 25 and get your catfish and whatnot. Thaw them out and fry you up some. Arris, you go with Kirsten. She probably won't have you, but get over there anyway. Gina, you are now with Mackinley. Okay. Shaquille, you're now with Jasmine. She will appreciate you and you will appreciate her and y'all will appreciate each other off into the sunset. And that's just how it's going to go. Okay. And Snooki and Vinny, y'all stay together, child. Because this is what y'all want to do anyway. So let's just get in there and play wife swap. Because this right here is crazy. So he said he's not sure what girls Clint has pulled in the past, but he can guarantee they haven't been prettier than Gina. Well, you know what, Mackinley? When you're right, you're right. I'm sure they haven't either. I'm sure neither Clint or old flathead Arris have ever been pulling some baddies. Okay? Dominique and Mckinley. So they're alone and he apologizes to her for all of his complaining. And he said, he's happy that she pulls him out of his comfort zone. He's going to try to do better. And I felt like she kind of scolded him a little bit. She's like, don't give excuses. I expect results. Okay? I'm going to give you a pass this one time. Don't let it happen again. I'm like, damn. Ooh. Child, he went along with it, but okay. Moving forward, Kirsten and Shaq. So she's telling him how they lifted Gina up and told her she was beautiful. He was like, do you think that he was wrong? He said, because I don't think he was wrong. Because even Arris said he wasn't attracted to his wife. Now, why would you tell her that? Why would you tell her that? So Kirsten gonna say, well, he said he was attracted to her. Like, why would you lie? Honey, the same reason all y'all lying. Every last one of y'all lying. He said, well, I'm just telling you what he said. Child, not a full-on gossip session. Honey, it's giving Alexis and Justin. Y'all know how they used to get together and gossip. So she's like, well, if he's not attracted to her, then why don't he just tell her? Well, why would he tell her? Because y'all hate Clint right now. So if Arris told Jasmine that he was not attracted to her, I'm already going to rip him apart regardless. But y'all would definitely have his head. So that's why he ain't saying nothing. And I can't believe Shaq even told you that. She's like, well, I'm always tell you what I said when you're not with me. And what I said was you joke a lot. Well, baby, what she say that for? He said, okay, so you don't like my jokes. You weren't attracted to me. Like, what do you like about me? So she's trying to talk. He's like, no. What do you like about me? And I don't blame him because it seems like you don't like his mere existence. Like, it's giving travel buddy. That's what it's giving. Y'all know how you really want to travel somewhere, but you don't have anybody to go with, so you call Shaq. Yeah, he's the one. That's the one you call when you want to travel and everybody's playing games and you have this completely platonic friend that you wouldn't dare take out of the friend zone. He ain't gonna touch you. Y'all gonna have separate rooms. Y'all gonna hang out. Y'all gonna talk. You gonna tell him all about the men you do like. That is Shaquille. And Kirsten is making him her travel buddy. Kirsten does not like this man, like at all. So she's like, no, I want you to be you. He said, no, because you just said I play too much. Like, you don't like that. So why do you want me to be me? She's like, you know what? I'm done talking. We're talking in circles. You're not listening. You said you could take criticism, but I mean, clearly you cannot. I just want you to know that there's a time and a place for it. And he's like, oh, okay, so I can respect that. You know, you keeping it real. It's a time and a place. He acted like he understood, but really I feel like he just didn't want to argue no more. So then they gave each other this church hug, child. Arris and Jasmine. So they meet back up. So Jasmine tells him that they talked about him not being in love and the pressure of him, you know, trying to love her and her trying to get him to love her. Jasmine, you cannot make him. Okay, you cannot make him love you. It just ain't gonna happen. So she was like, it don't take much for me to fall in love, but I've never been the first one to say I love you. The man has always told me first. And he said, well, it does take a while for me. You know, it takes a lot for me. That's because you go in wanting sex. And that's it. That's all. You have a wall up for whatever reason. And she said it gives her cause for pause because she doesn't know if she should pump the brakes because she doesn't want to get to the point where she loves him and he's not there. So he's like, well, why don't we just pump the brakes for a minute? And baby, he want to make sure you don't call yourself falling in love with him, honey, because secretly he want Kirsten and he ain't fooling me. As soon as he saw Kirsten, baby, all bets were off. So then he tells her, you know, well, this is awkward. She's like, it's not awkward for me. He said, I mean, I guess one day it won't be. You know, I feel like we're going to go through peaks and valleys. And I mean, you might want to kick me out. Now, you know, you ain't going to be around long enough for her to want to put you out. The streets will be seeing you very soon. And she trying to tell you something about how she feels, but you're trying to brush past it, talking about it's awkward. How is it awkward having a conversation with your wife? Ugh. So then she gonna say, this is where she's giving me Paige. It's giving Paige/Katina. It's giving Patina. Or it's giving Cage, honey. It's giving one of them. Merge them together. She's like, you know, knowing that he wants to go through the peaks and valleys, it's very reassuring. Girl, ain't nothing reassuring about that. It's all game to get you to be quiet. Anywho, honey, Clint and Gina. So she finally telling him how he made her feel, child. Y'all listen. So he said, well, you said that you weren't attracted to me either. Like we're opposites. She said, but for you to say that you wanted someone slender and talk about my weight. He said, I didn't say slender and I wasn't talking about your weight. She said, well, Clint, I told you I dated a ginger. He had a red beard. He said, do you think the term ginger is offensive? She said, no, I do hair and they asked me for that. Now, I don't know. It's like a split for that because down in my comment section last week, people were saying that the term ginger is offensive. And I felt like it was offensive just because, you know, it just seemed like a term that people wouldn't like. But then there were also people that are like, ginger is not offensive. Like when people say ginger, I'm like, okay. You know, so I guess it's all according to how you perceive it. Perception is everything. So I don't know if it's offensive to others, but it was definitely offensive to Clint. And Gina, just because you do hair does not mean it's not offensive. And she said, because, you know, I specialize in it. That's what they come in. They ask for that. I specialize in it. Clint said, and what does that mean? You don't even like redheads. She's like, I've never heard that, Clint. I mean, I do hair. I've never heard that. If I have to hear Gina does hair one more time, I might scream. Take out the ginger. Take out the ginger part. You don't think it hurt his feelings to hear that? Even if she didn't use the term ginger, just the way that she said it to him, that hurt his feelings. He said, well, I didn't mean to offend you. I just wanted to state who I was attracted to. She said, well, it offended not only me, but every other woman. He said, well, that wasn't my intent. My intent was for people to know that I'm honest and upfront. Clint, let me stop you right there, honey. Get real. Be very for real. Your intent was to get back at Gina and hurt her like she did you, and you achieved just that. Now, if we're going to be real, then we're going to be real. Your intent was not to, I want people to know I'm real. No, your intent was to hurt Gina, and that's exactly what you did. So, and Gina, you're also being a hypocrite. Okay, you can dish it, but you can't take it. She was like, you know, what I need is a person who can read the room. He said, I'm sorry you feel that way. But, you know, he's still sticking to it and whatnot. She said, so you still don't see anything wrong with what you said, talking about weight? He said she was trying to switch it around when that's not what happened. She said, if you feel there's no remorse, then I feel like we need to spend the rest of the honeymoon apart. Gina just wanted an excuse to be done with Clint, honey. You can go on, honey. Go on over there and get with Mackinley. You didn't want to be bothered with Clint anyway. She was like, I'm done. He said, you should be done. What an unfortunate turn of events. When I tell y'all I hollered, when Clint looked at Gina as she walked away, what an unfortunate turn of events. I'm telling you right now, I don't like Clint or Gina. Oh, child, y'all crazy. He's like, it's just unreal. She's trying to turn the tide and make me the villain and she's the victim. Not the sailing reference, honey, not turn the tides. He's like, she's cantankerous. This is a game for her. She's trying to do the blame game and she's looking for an out. I just feel like she's looking for an out. And I'm sorry, y'all. Once again, might be an unpopular opinion. I have to agree with Clint. Both of y'all are wrong in a way. Gina should have thought before she spoke, and so should have Clint. Okay, it wasn't the opportune time to talk about that. The ladies don't know the full story, so they automatically took Gina's side. I don't know how they feel after rewatching it, but truth be told, Gina was ready to get back to the salon. And that's all she talked about anyway. The one time she talked about something else, it was to say that she didn't like gingers. Girl gone. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Don't forget to meet me tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are going to get into it as we get into it. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.